Anyway, it is time to reflect on the last, was it 25 weeks of show before this? I think we're on episode 26 right now. 25 weeks of show, a good half a year. We started in July or August. When did we start? July, I believe.
Yeah,
we
July.
started July, beginning of July. And so this would cover, not a full year perhaps, but certainly the last half year. The year-end awards, these awards all going to someone or something that appeared on our show or had something to do with our show. So let's say if you don't agree with our Wrestler of the Year and you think, it should have been Cody Rhodes, well, we didn't really talk about Cody Rhodes. So it has to be relevant to this show. The Kliq This Universe, it's all that exists, okay, when we choose these awards. So I'm going to save everybody the headache of second-guessing what we did and saying, oh, there's a better this and a better that out there.
Because there is no world but our world.
That's how it should be anyway. There are no other. If you have to listen to one show, it really should be ours. Okay, so I did wear the robe that was requested online.
I'm waiting for you to cut like going to some kind of religious service here.
Maybe I'll just take a bunch of people to Cambodia and have them drink the Kool-Aid. So the first award we're going to give out here is the Gaylord Perry Woman of the Year. And we all agreed that this had to be worthy of Kevin's Gaylord Perry reference, first of all, was what, Kevin? Let everybody in on the joke here.
That when you first start off and you're a youngster and you get the bottle of lotion and you apply the palm, hit the shaft. Apply the palm, hit the shaft goes dry. You're losing a lot of time. The Gaylord Perry, if you know the reference, Gaylord Perry used to keep dabs of Vaseline all over himself so he could touch his cap, twist it off. Go to the shoulder, twist it off. That was the Gaylord Perry reference.
So someone who would be the Gaylord Perry Woman of the Year would be one that would require that might drive you to load up dabs of Vaseline everywhere and go to town on yourself. And the winner of the 20... Go ahead.
No, I'm just going to say this also. If you use Vaseline, of course, that was always my go-to because we had it in the house and you could never get busted. Like you couldn't spill... You're not going to spill Vaseline.
What's this, Kevin? Right.
Yeah.
It's fucking Vaseline. What are you talking about? Problematic, though, because, of course, it's not water-soluble. It beads in the shower, and it's tough to get off. Not that I've used it. The 2022 Gaylord Perry Woman of the Year, ladies and gentlemen, the late, great, hot Tawny Katane.
Yes. It's a very spankable young lady.
Oh, listen, if she had a dime for every load she was responsible for throughout the 80s.
Rest in peace, sweetie.
Yeah, and
I had the pleasure to meet her. She was a sweetheart.
That was the great story is that during a fire alarm at a hotel
at Embassy Suite.
At Embassy Suites, Kev stands out on the railing, not leaving, and he looks over, and the only other one not leaving was actually Tawny Katane. And he's like, "Well, since we're not leaving,
I just looked at her and said, times like this can make it on my own. Sleepless days."
Is it Whitesnake?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait to see you again.
She was past the Coverdale stage by then.
Yeah.
And who was the pitcher? The
Finley?
Yeah. Maybe past that stage by then too. So, and you had a very innocent, sweet night.
No, just chilled. Yeah.
Chilled. What was she wearing? Did I ask you that last time? Can I tell you? I picture her in the,
she had like jeans,
the tightest of jeans.
Jeans and a t-shirt.
High heels.
No, she had no shoes on.
Oh.
She wasn't going nowhere.
Right. Well, this is just my demented Gaylord Perry.
But her, she had like that hair was just, she looked like she could tell she got the cones taken out.
Right.
You know, she's at that point of her life where, you know, she's gotten over being a sex object.
Symbol. No one ever objectified her. Sex symbol.
Sex symbol. Object.
So the great Tony could say, gone too
El
soon.
Machina.
Ex machina.
Acabacida. Drop me off at the vice president's house in the chopper.
Arnold, I hope.
Yes.
Okay. It's a little Arnold, a little Joey Diaz, to be honest with you, and a touch,
All
Jason.
you need in Australia is 3 bad motherfuckers.
All right, Adolf, relax. Best Scott Hall term.
We went with dripping pelt.
That's good, and I think that's one everyone's going to add to their lexicon.
Yeah, there's nothing better in life than a fucking dripping pelt.
There was some competition for this category, though, right? We had Scott gave us, of course, the meat gaze, which was used pretty extensively on this show, and
you just kind of stuttered there. You don't have CTE, do you?
I've never been hit by a chair. But I think I've hung out with enough guys that have to get it by proxy.
Sitting that close next to Bob Holly during that motherfucking tirade right there
is enough. Yes. Scott gave us so much, but he'll best be remembered on this show for dripping pelts. And that's so every year in January we're gonna have to find a new Scott term. So you're gonna have to dig up. You're going to have to get over that CTE hump and dig up a lot of Scott terminology every year if there's going to be the best Scott Hall term every year. The Kliq This Fan of the Year, Kevin. And you know we have tens of thousands of listeners every week, hundreds of thousands by month's end, so we could have chosen anyone. But there was one person.
Like 1 million people a month. Look at this, man.
So we had to choose one. So I had to choose one that made it known in the most grand scale that he was a fan. And the 2022 recipient of the Kliq This Fan of the Year is Mr. Kenny Omega, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah, yes. It's nice that I also am a fan of his, so that's, you know.
It's always better when it's not a douchebag that you have to put over.
When he's a good guy.
Very good. And if anyone, this is going to get us taken off YouTube if we play the announcement. Steve probably will, right? Because it's an AEW clip, so we can't play it. But
he's kind of got a Daniel Day-Lewis Gangs of New York going on in that last photo we saw.
Right. Let's see that. Bring that up again. Let me see a
little bit.
The pork chop sideburns going into the mustache.
Has he got the red, white, and blue eye? No.
And then
no eagle eye.
And the crazy eyes, though, if nothing else, right there. Congratulations, Kenny. Well deserved. Best boo-boo face. Okay.
Oh.
So I think it was universally agreed.
Again, a Scott term.
That's true. A Scott term made it onto the actual categories. The boo-boo face of the year. Kev, what do you think? Where does it go? Drum roll.
Oh, God. I hate to beat on a dead horse, but...
Especially one that's so tired.
And old. And injured. And hungry. I'm going to go with our friend Phil. Yep.
Here it is.
I'm not even going to call him CM Punk anymore because he just doesn't work anymore. What the fuck happened to his eyes?
Under the eyes?
Was that blood? Did he bleed in that match? Is that what that was? Yeah, it looks like it's in his scalp too.
Little juice. All right. Well, congratulations, Phil. You get the award on our show. Everyone's saying, well, it's all right if Kev does that because he worked in the ring, but that other motherfucker, he never worked in a ring. How does he get to shoot on anybody? He never worked in a ring in his life. I always loved that criticism when I would hear wrestlers talk about, like Meltzer, and be like, how does he know? He never worked. So we can't know a bad movie? You have to have worked in the movies to know a bad movie? You have to have sung songs to know that a song is
You have
shit?
to be a chef to know a meal sucks.
Yeah, apparently. Oh boy,
We're not saying it. We're just saying it's a boo-boo face.
No, I know, but I'm saying I have heard that criticism of people like Meltzer, where they justify it by saying, "Well, he never worked in a ring. How does he know wrist lock from wristwatch?" A little silly.
I just don't like when somebody tells me somebody is or is not a good worker.
But here's what I can tell you: whether someone entertains me, I can tell you that. I may not know the mechanics. I know enough of the mechanics, but your average fan may not, so they're just able to say, I turn off his matches because they put me to fucking sleep. And guess what? He's a ratings point. He's a Nielsen point.
Yeah, no, I think that's a much better indicator than whether he has a star at the end of the night after his match. If he didn't have a motherfucker watching.
Exactly, Baba.
You know, baby.
The Harley Race Wrestler of the Year. Okay, it's got to be somebody profiled on our show, Kev. And, Harley, no one's going to argue. If we're going to do this in the image of Harley Race, one of the greatest of all time, over everywhere, multi-time world champion.
7-time real world champion.
So I don't think our recipient tonight has been a world champion outside of someone's garage somewhere. However, I don't give a shit what anyone says.
He's the people's champion.
He's the Kliq This champion because he found a way to get heat in 2022 when no one gives a shit. And that is Daniel Richards, the progressive liberal. Now,
yes.
I know he's a listener. I had plenty of his friends accost me at the last convention. And listen, say what you will. I don't care if you've heard of him or not or ever seen a match. The guy realized I'm working West Virginia, so I'm putting on a Hillary Clinton shirt.
I think that's balls. I mean,
it's such fucking balls. It's like the old days you'd hear like Mulligan would get slashed on his way out with a. He runs the risk of being, as you know, murdered on the way out of the ring, and snowflake off the top rope. Love it, love him, Daniel Richards.
And the fact that he wears trunks. Trunks alone's heat.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There you go. Lovely. There it is, the image.
He must be doing lunges. What the?
I know he's got a Biden shirt he wears too. Well done. Well done. Brings us to the stiff one of the year.
Let's go, Brandon.
We've had 26 stiff ones to date, 25 that we could have voted on. And the our panel of experts, our League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, have chosen what, Kevin?
We had two that we talked about. We thought that the one, it's the one's Lily.
The David O. Russell
Lily
tantrum.
Yeah. And then we also had the Tatanka, which we actually found more humorous, the fact that the Kliq had held him back during a WrestleMania that one Kliq person was actually in the company.
Before the formation of the Kliq.
There was no Kliq.
So congratulations to both of you, if we have to give both.
Yeah.
It'd be very hard to find a tantrum worse than David O. Russell on the set of I Heart Huckabees, and Lily Tomlin, who held her own during the. There's actually another scene. Maybe that will make another appearance. That from another scene in the film, where and in this one they're kind of like it's a car shot, so there's 2 or 3 people in the car, and Lily's one of them, and it's one of those where the camera's like shooting in through the driver's side window, so it's a tight scenario, and Dustin Hoffman is next to her, and she's having another tantrum, and I think David's yelling at her from the street, and she's freaking out. And ever the professional, under his breath, you can hear Hoffman just going, "Just use it for the scene, Lily. Use it for the scene." All method, tremendous.
Oh yeah,
I'll find that one. So congratulations, David and Tatanka.
Have you seen? We're not done yet, so I'm not going to butt in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen Glass Onion?
It's the CTE. No, but I was just reading something about it. Go ahead. Tell me what you were going to say.
I was disappointed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought Batista was good in it. I think Batista does a very good job of what he picks as far as roles.
Good agent, maybe.
But I think Dave's got. I think Dave is
He's on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's into his craft. He's into the skill. And the thing is like I couldn't see anybody playing that part better than him.
Well, that's the ultimate compliment, right? When you say nobody else could have played this part, whether it be Louis De Palma in Taxi or Carol O'Connor as Archie Bunker or Dave Bautista in this.
At the beginning, like when he's like there's a shot of him and he's in like a garage with the cars, and it kind of felt like it gave a vibe of his crib.
Very good. So I'll have to find. So not worth watching though.
No, it's worth watching. It's just, I don't know, transparent.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm getting two worth watchings from.
Let me put it this way: it wasn't much of a mystery to me.
Okay. Getting not as good as Knives Out, but really fun. All right, I'll give it a shot. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
The director claimed it was he was the best wrestler turned actor. Ooh, there's a whole show on that someday. All the guys that have been on camera in meaty roles.
Not really.
No. There's been so many of y'all we can pick through.
No, there's really not.
All right, it is time for the best impersonation. And we have a guest presenter. Please come out. Mr. Christopher Walken will be presenting the best Kliq This impersonation. The 2022 Best Impersonation Award goes to none other than Kevin Nash for his portrayal of Anthony Hopkins in Legends of the Fall. Very good. I think that was Jesse could have been a close second.
Fuck you, Hawkins. Fuck you. Fuck them all.
Very, very good. Very good. There were so many. We had the Jesse.
What do you know? What do you know, Walken?
There you go. The next year's presenter, Jesse Ventura, coming out on the stage. Don't smack him. We can't have a Chris Rock moment.
Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me, Christopher Walken, while you fucking dance in that fucking music video?
Could have had a Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
Could have been. The De Niro was a visual, so I don't know for our listeners. But a fine choice, Legends. We got plenty of traction out of Colonel, oh Christ, what was his name in the film? Whatever his name was in the film. Hopkins in Legends of the Fall. You know exactly
fucking,
what that is.
Man, your CT has been... I told you not to start taking those Muay Thai classes.
Exactly. Show you my midsection to dispel that myth. Come on, Fitbod. Get me ready. 2023, Fitbod.
Hey, give it a chance, man. Rome wasn't built in a day. Even though you got Caesar's robot.
I do. Props to the ghost of Gianni Versace. All right, the pick a hand. No, I'm sorry. This is the Uniondale, New York bunkhouse match of the year. So this needs no explanation. We've covered copiously the clusterfuck that was the Long Island, New York pay-per-view bunkhouse match of the year, from the wrong time being advertised and fans being there well after the event had started. So the award for this goes to none other than the episode 13 of the Kliq This program, the Kevin Nash podcast, which featured no Kevin Nash. due to the hurricane and the power outage. So fans tuning in to get their favorite former wrestler, come actor, come political commentarist turned podcaster,
non-paid non-paid podcaster,
servant of the people. Got Sean Oliver and Steve Kaufman instead. So that was episode 13. I know you're all rushing to YouTube to head back to that one. Listen, we could have put a rerun. We wanted to give you something fresh, right? So we did.
I watched it. I enjoyed it.
He's a good actor as well. Kevin Nash, thank you very much. That brings us to the pick-a-hand moment of the year. Okay, so the pick-a-hand, if no one remembers, that was when Rob Van Dam famously told Taz to pick a hand before he hit him with it. And the pick-a-hand moment of the year award is going to, drum roll, what comes to mind, Kev, when I say who had to pick a hand?
Well, I mean, you talking about picking a hand, you really had to pick a hand. This cat had one hand already tied up. So
Mr. Andrew Frey. This was the man who was high on meth, fighting off 15 police officers while masturbating. So
that's a bad motherfucker. Shut your mouth.
I'm feeling like this may be the only award he was up for, but God damn it, he's getting it. True story, folks. This is from, I want to say it's Oregon. Steve, go down for me a little bit here. Let's see. Yeah, it was Oregon. Okay,
Oregon.
So, yep, and it's a legit story. So,
got kind of a shoot fighter look.
A little bit.
You know? A little bit of that, what was that guy's name that started out early? Was it Griffin?
I don't know. One of the Gracies, perhaps?
Like Forrest Griffin or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So, congratulations, Andrew Frey, wherever you are today. I'm assuming you're not a free man after that, but who knows with the justice system these days. Forrest Griffin, yes, you are confirmed there. Now, boy, think for those of you that feel you're too busy to get a task done, Andrew Frey should be your model, your go-to, a man truly with his hands full. And listen, I'm guessing a little blue chew maybe for being able to keep. I'm assuming if something was going on, the wood had to stay firm while in a fight with 15 police officers.
I'm hoping he had a cock ring on.
He had to get some help, I'm thinking.
Since we brought up Forrest Griffin, Wesley just put that he had the thing that kind of made the UFC, and this is like quoted from Dana White, was that that Ultimate Fighter that was on Spike. They had the first round was Griffin versus Stephan Bonner, and they had that fight, and it was an amazing. I remember watching that. I remember watching that. I also remember how Spike TV just would absolutely run UFC ads throughout our show because it was the highest, and they would never run a TNA wrestling on a UFC thing.
Were the ads paid?
Probably not, because that's just not something you do.
All right, so
but just rest in peace to
rest
Mr.
in
Bonner.
peace to Mr. Bonner. Yes,
I met him a couple times. A good cat. And
that gets us to the Bea Arthur Woman of the Year. Okay, so
let's go. Let's give the runner-up first. The runner-up was Kay Ballard, which leads only one person that I mean, I like to call her Maud. I mean, I just do, because I mean, there were, like we all talked about, Elizabeth Montgomery and Tina Louise.
Jeannie, what's her name?
Yes. Barbara Eden.
Yes.
Barbara Eden. But Bea Arthur. I mean, you're talking about a silver fox.
Instant. I mean, just fucking pull it out. Right out. But listen, and this need not be the sex symbol category, because that's the first one. That's the of course the Gaylord Perry Woman of the Year. So
this is more the dripping pelt.
This is accomplishment, is what I would not that having the full ficus tree between your legs isn't an accomplishment, but the Bea Arthur Woman of the Year award for 2022 goes to Bea Arthur for starting this show off. If anyone does not remember, episode 1 was started with the poetic imagery from Mr. Nash. I think it was what was it? It was.
I think we were eating Bea Arthur's dripping box from behind or something.
Right, I think it was something like that. So that
I know that it was oral love to be.
But as a storyteller, a screenwriter, an author, you're always looking to so perfectly set the tone for what a viewer's about to see rather quickly, and Bea Arthur did that through the mind of Kevin Nash in episode 1.
And I don't remember stuttering as I came up with that.
That was well before the effects of the CTE had
okay.
settled, which clearly happened somewhere in episode 24 or 25 if we go by YouTube. The basement denizens on YouTube.
Oh, stop it. Stop
and
it.
That brings us to... Go ahead.
I'm about to go Gaylord Perry on that lady.
The Florida Man Jersey Guy of the Year. Okay, we had to pick somebody, whether from Jersey or Florida, who most exemplified the game and the intent of the Florida Man Jersey Guy game every week. And for our winner, we go no further than to let's see, what city are we in here? Clearwater in Florida, for the gentleman named Chad Mason, folks. Florida man arrested after having public sex with a dog and damaging a church nativity scene. Not unlike our friend earlier, Andrew Frey, who was busy with himself and the police. This gentleman here, Mr. Chad Mason, saw fit to not only plow a dog from behind, but also destroy a church nativity scene. Listen, if you have goals...
I think one of his buddies did that haircut, that's...
Yeah.
That whole trim job, everything just looks for shit.
Yeah, he needs to change the location of his shape up, because that clearly isn't working. Yeah. But listen... Say what you will, Kevin Nash, you're not the recipient of the Florida Man Jersey Guy of the Year. He is. So he obviously did something right or terribly wrong.
I wonder if, and of course, nativity scenes aren't, that's not like a give me nowadays.
It's hard to find, right?
And well, they were basically outlawed for a while,
And you're gonna have you'd have baby Jesus in the hay there or whatever, and then you got Mary, who's got to probably be there.
Does it say what kind of dog it was?
Yeah. Let's get that up again. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. He was going to town on I want to say a Labradoodle, a golden doodle. So that's was it a poodle and a golden retriever mix? Is that what a golden doodle would be?
So maybe it was a standard poodle and a golden retriever. So why they gotta have the Clearwater fucking cop car? They making sure that we don't allow this kind of shit in Clearwater.
Well, there's the scene. There's the crime scene tape because I guess they were dusting for prints off the dog's asshole, something. I don't know what you do when you have a raped dog. How did no video of this? There's video of everything out there. There's no video of this. Though, nor the guy with that couldn't be an episode of Cops when they roll up and some guy's pounding his shanker and taking on 15 cops, somewhat successfully, I guess, as they have to pick a hand.
To me, it's just like there had to be some body cam of that fucking action.
That's making the rounds in some locker room somewhere, right? You gotta be on the other side of the blue wall to get that video.